everybody, this is me back in my lovely creative space. Welcome to you all, and especially a very warm welcome if it's your first time and you've just found me. There's lots of people just coming and finding me now. It's just really lovely. I've had a lot of new subscribers, which is very exciting, so thank you all for your subscriptions. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for your support. You know, leave me a comment, let me know where you're from, especially if you've just come to join me. You know, let me know who you are and where you've come from and what you like to do. Are you a creative person? I love to know. I'm very nosy. When we do our Meet the Makers days with my group, when we have an exhibition on and we do Meet the Makers, and we take along our sewing machines or our hand stitching or our weaving or whatever we're doing, it's so nice because you get to meet other people. And my question is always, are you a maker? Do you make things? Are you, I don't say are you an artist, because I think that's a bit sort of I don't know, off-putting to people, but a lot of people say, oh yes, oh well, I just make this, or I just do that, or I dabble in these things and I dabble in that thing. And it's just so heartwarming to hear that people are being creative. It's just lovely. Whatever you're doing, you know, whether you're just rearranging things in your house and making it look nice, or whether you're making a delicious meal for your family, or you're gardening, or you're just, you know, as I say, arranging your knickknacks. There's such pleasure in it, isn't it? And it is all about creating something nice for you to see and to be in. And we all need this at this time. I think there's so much going on the planet at the moment. It's incredible. So we all need a little bit of peace and quiet and a chance to relax somewhere. So I hope that's what you find when you come here and visit with me. You know, I'd love to fit you all in, but I think it would really be a squash now. So I'm grateful that I can connect with you in this way via the internet. It's an incredible thing to me. As somebody who, when she was at university, used to cycle around to find a phone box to ring my mum on my bicycle. I used to go on my bicycle, try and find a phone box that was actually working, that wasn't vandalised or something, and give my mum a ring once a week. It was just, you know, that's what I did. None of these mobile phone things then, goodness me. So I'm so grateful for technology. It's just still an amazing thing to me that we can do all of this stuff and connect around the world. And it's so heartwarming to have you here. So I'm just trying to think what else has been going on. There's been so much change, as I say. There's change all around. I feel as it's really in the air. I've been doing all sorts of clearing out again in the house and buying new things and just clearing, simplifying, getting rid of stuff that I don't need, that I don't use, and I've been buying some nice new things. I'll be honest, some of the furniture and stuff we've had in our house, we've had for a very long time, and a lot of it was second-hand and quite, you know, cheap from the local auction or stuff, sort of hand-me-downs and stuff. And I'm now in a position to actually buy a few things, which is absolutely lovely. I'm buying some nice new things for me. I'm treating me to some lovely new things, and I'm just so appreciating it. And I feel as though my sense of colour is changing. I'm really wanting yellow in my house, and mustardy yellow and golden yellow. So in our kitchen we've got a big armchair that we sit in with the cat. If you want to cuddle with the cat, you can sit in this big armchair. And I'd had a dark grey throw on it, and I just kept looking at it thinking, this is no good. So when I went shopping the other day and I was buying some other bits and bobs, I saw this gorgeous yellow throw, just nothing expensive, and I brought it home, took the grey one off, put the yellow one on, and now I can't keep my eyes off it. I keep looking at it across the kitchen thinking that is so lovely. And I mean, the kitchen's in a bit of a pickle. I've got an elderly cat, she's got some issues, you know, we're sort of living in a bit of a chaotic state in there at the moment, but it's okay. But this yellow chair to me just shows me what's possible, how joyful it is to have one simple thing that really brings you joy, that makes you smile every time you look at it. And you know, I'm just delighted. So yeah, that's it, that's where I'm at. It's lots of change again. I feel as though that's all I keep saying is, oh well, lots of things are changing at the moment. And it's true, as the seasons are changing and everything's moving on in the garden, in the veggie patch, things are coming on at a pace. And I am just trying to ride the wave, the wave that's going along like this, just going, ooh, the current's going quite fast. You just have to hang on there. So anyway, I hope this finds you well. I hope you're being creative. I hope you're finding some peace and joy in your day as well. And thank you for joining me here. It's just lovely. I wouldn't be doing it without you. we'll go and get on, and I'll show you where I'm up to. As you saw last week, there was a big change with shifting into making the whole bowl green, and I'm excited to get on and do the leaves that I want to put into it, and I've got some other ideas as well, and we'll see what happens, see how it turns out. So the first thing I've done is taken some of this lovely yarn, which I've had in my little yarn stash for a number of years, and I've done some zigzagging on it to turn it into some cording, because I kind of want to have some tendrils. I want to kind of keep it loose around the flowers. And then the next thing I've been doing is playing around with some little leaf shapes. So I've been playing with different coloured fabrics. I've got some lovely linen here in 2 shades actually. I've been lucky to find some little bits. I don't have a lot of greens, but I've got 2 shades of linen there. I've got another sort of cottony one here, which is possibly a little bit too bright, possibly. But we'll see. So I've made these little leaf shapes basically, and I've done them with different colours, and what I've done is I've put some of the stitch and tear away stabiliser or whatever it is, you know, some kind of stiffener in between. So I've cut those into little leaf shapes before I've put them together. So I've just been playing around to see what colours I want to put together, what colour threads. So I've got my little basket of threads here to work out what shades of threads I want to put with the fabrics. So it's been a lovely, peaceful thing to do, and I'll show you how I'm going to put them together. So I've just got some of my tearaway stabiliser, which I'm going to fold up, and then I'm going to cut some shapes out of it. This is so that we can get several little leaf shapes cut out at once. I have just folded it up in a concertina fashion, and I'm just going to cut some little leaf shapes like this. And these are deliberately smaller than the fabric. They're deliberately smaller than the fabric. So I'm just cutting some leaf shapes up. I'm just doing it by eye because I want them to all feel kind of different and quite relaxed. I'm just using this lovely linen fabric. It's very forgiving. I've ironed it. I've even ironed it. Goodness me. So what I'm doing is I'm putting these onto the background fabric, and then I'm taking one of my little pieces that I've just cut, like that, and we will pin that on. Let's get it in the right place roughly. If they're a little bit too big, well, if they're a bit too big, I'll kind of trim that back a little bit. As I said, I'm just doing this by eye. You could do this very accurately. You can make yourself pattern pieces, but you know me. I'm just Mrs. Slapdash. Mrs. Just bung it on and get it going. It usually works out, to be honest with you. Let's pin that one on as well. I'll do a whole stack of them at once. I've got this lovely dark linen, and I've got the other colours to use as well. So I've got some of this fabric, and I've got some of the darker linen, some of the lighter linen, and I might well use this slightly paler yellowy colour. And I'm putting it onto this background because it's quite stiff, and I'll take them over to the sewing machine and we will get them stitched. Okay, so I've got all of these leaves pinned on to here, and I'm now just going to stitch them. Very simply. Move on to the next one. So this is the first lot that I've stitched, and you can see how that works so nicely. If you look closely at them, they're as wonky as anything. They're quite loosely stitched, but the effectiveness is because I'm doing several of them all at once. It really looks quite nice like that actually as a pattern. So I'm going to cut these out, you see now. If you sew them in groups like this, it makes life so much easier because it's, I suppose it's batch production, isn't it? And if you're going to be doing several of something, I think it really helps. Makes life much easier. And I've had such a nice time just fiddling about with these leaves and putting them together, and then we'll be looking at what they look like on the bowl. So I'm just busy pinning on various things here. I've got lots of little bits of this twirly-whirly stuff, and I'm just kind of playing with putting the leaves on, and then I'm going to add in the flowers. It's a process and it's quite scary because I'm going, oh, I've got to commit to something now. So I've pinned these on, I'm going to stitch them, stitch some of this curly stuff on, and then get the flowers on. You can see now I've got all of my leaves stitched down quite simply. Try to make it a little bit random so they're not sort of set in, you know, patterns or anything. And then I've added in these lovely tendrily bits just to add a bit more texture to the piece. And now I'm going to work with my flowers, the exciting bit. Okay, so this is me making my first proper flower. So I've just basically layered up 3 different kinds of fabric, and underneath this centre bit I've put a little bit of this really thick wadding. In fact, I put 2 little circles of it and I've just stitched around it, and I've got this gorgeous sort of, I don't even know what it is really, it's just adorable, and I'm going to put it round somehow around the centre. Oops, getting little threads coming in. Let's just see what we can do. Put it around the centre of here. There you go, you see, it just starts to give it a little bit of extra texture in the middle. It needed a bit more. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to stitch this down or whether I'll embellish it, I haven't decided. But I like it because it gives it a feeling of depth. You see, that just looks quite, you know, it's got a lot of depth from the layers and then that centerpiece. So I think that's number 1. A few more to do. So here's my bowl finished, and I'll try and show you underneath. That's kind of what it looks like underneath. It's all just stitching and pieces of fabric, and I don't know about you, but I'm just blown away by this, because this was a very dark, boring purple bowl, which, you know, was something I made at a time and it expressed something for me at the time, and now I feel as though it's just full of exuberance. Each of these flowers is individual, but they're full of colour and texture, and I just worked on each one at a time and made them all just one at a time, so they all came out by themselves. I didn't have a plan, I just cut the fabrics and stitched them and added bits on and let them just evolve. So I'm really chuffed. So it's going off to a little exhibition we've got in the summer at a local community sort of cafe and gallery. We exhibit there every year with my group Fabricate, so I'm really excited to go. This is like my showstopper, if you like. And in terms of, you know, the Great British Bake Off, this is my showstopper. I've got lots of pieces to hang on the wall, some to put on a table, and I've got this piece, and I just think it sums up summer for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this crazy process with me of taking an old piece of art and turning it into something new. I don't know what's going to be next, but I will be here again in my creative space very soon. Thank you for joining me here, and I will see you again with some more fun with fabric and stitch.